It's part of the Real Quick series. I'm bringing you Arms Warrior today. Arms Warrior is just like the burst damage version of Warrior. You wanna you wanna set up kill potentials, and you also want to be able to KO the target when necessary, in arenas especially. You want to stack haste as much as you can, just to be attacking faster. Obviously, to keep your rage going. But versatility and mastery are also pretty effective as well. So far as Azerite traits go, you want to get 3 Crushing Assaults if you can to get those really big slam procs, and I'll show you that later on how when the slam does proc that it does massive damage. There it is right there. It's a Crushing Assault. Sometimes it can be hard to get that, so if you have to go to a lower eye level piece, it's always okay to do. And pretty much as arms where you want to keep up Mortal Strike, and you want to keep your deep wounds up. Deep wounds is going to be a lot of your damage over the course of a fight, especially dampening comps. Like here, I'm just showing you Battlefield Focus, which is pretty strong too. Lord of War used to be really good. I mean, it's still viable, but at higher rated arenas, the Crushing Assault, I don't know, just took over. For Fury, obviously, you got your Recklessness and Unbridled Fury, Flurry of Blows, all that stuff. I'm actually using Seismic Slam on my Warrior because I don't have a piece to fit into that spot. But it's viable too. I mean, it's, anything that adds damage to anything you're doing, if you don't have anything better, is going to be viable. Overwhelming Power, you definitely want to have that if you can, because in that procs, it's going to increase your haste by 25% to 50%. I'll go over a damage rotation real quick on this training dummy. It's pretty simple. I mean, all you got to do is just, line up your burst damage with your abilities as they come off global cooldown, and then just rotate. As far as the PvP talents go, you want to have Sharpened Blade. You want to have, obviously, there's the base talents, but Spell Reflect's really good against double caster comps, and Disarm I usually get against warriors. Warbanner is very viable, and Duel is very viable. Warbanner reduces the CC on your whole party after it's been planted, so it won't reduce CC when you plant it and your target's in CC. Storm of Destruction is really good for not being snared, but also, you know what I mean, preventing stuns, disarms, stuff like that. And then Duel obviously is a peel mechanic for teammates. I always want to make sure your battle shouts up. It's something I always forget to do, especially when I'm doing arenas. Uh, just an overview of the gear that I'm using right now. It's not really the best. When I was making this character, I didn't really know. He was my first character in BFA, so I didn't really know what secondary stats to stack. So I kind of just picked up everything as it came along. And that's where he's been at. I'm going to go in here. I always start off with like, the overpowers and stuff like that to help generate rage. Then immediately go into Mortal Strike, and then waiting for those procs for the slam. So you just want to kind of like rotate between slam, Mortal Strike when you execute procs, and then keep an overpower on cooldown at all times. Just prioritize what you're doing. There you can see I can generate a little bit more rage if you're on a stationary target, or to where you can jump and you can probably Intimidating Shout to CC a healer, things of that nature. That's a good mechanic to learn. How to CC with Intimidating Shout if you don't know about it. Intimidating Shout sometimes is used as a defense mechanism to live, but more than not, it's used to CC a healer anymore. Right here, waiting to get this slam procs. You'll see it, it'll highlight around my slam icon. There it is right there, and then you can see it does 18k damage for a slam. It's another one, 15k. So I mean, that's with only one too. You know what I mean? You get a bunch of them, and it helps out. If you want to line characters, you got to you know what I mean? You always got to be cautious, like against like boomkins and casters and stuff like that. Right here, I'm just kind of showing, like, you know what I mean, how you can be attacking a target and you can CC with Intimidating Shout and then follow it up with a Storm Bolt, you know, and you can do that with macros as well. But you just want to set an arena focus macro, and if you got Gladius, then you just right click the name of the person that you're gonna have a focus on, or you can do arena 1, 2, 3 macros, and that'll obviously attack arena 1, 2, 3 with whatever spell you're trying to do. They're fairly simple. But yeah, casters. When you're lining casters, you want to make sure that you're not lining your healer while you're doing it. Because sometimes you're around a pillar, you can go around the wrong way, and that's a big way to lose a game. Especially if you got something that's not as mobile, like a Disc Priest or I don't want to say a Holy Pally, but a Holy Pally doesn't have Charger up. Um, you have to be very careful about that. I know you can get used to playing with a Mistweaver, and feel like you can go wherever you want. But Resto Shamans, they have Ghost Wolf, but it's not that fast. And I heal on a Resto Shaman too, so I can kind of give you a little bit of my pain there. Pretty much, if you just keep your damage going, you keep the dots up on targets, you line the casters, you make sure you're using the right PvP talent. Arms Warrior isn't as bad as it's perceived to be. It's just it takes a lot more thinking ahead. You know, you gotta think of when you're gonna spell reflect. You gotta think of when you're gonna, CC the healer because your CCs are on a longer cooldown and they're not abundant like on other classes. Right here, I'm showing you the dead zone on charge. And it's pretty much the area to where a warrior can't charge you and he also can't hit you. So that is something that you need to learn if you are playing a warrior or if you're playing another class against a warrior. You can see right here, I'll show you where I can hit and where I can't. Also too, right there, that's something where you can't hit. You can't hit from the side. So if somebody's right there, you're gonna line. You're gonna line your auto attack, and any other damage on your abilities. But right here, see I can attack. If I back up a little bit, it goes away. And then right here is where I can't charge anymore. So look how big this area is right here. And this is something that all high rated warriors know because this right here will get you killed. You know what I mean? Or it'll do completely nullify your damage. And you used to use it. Hunters used to use it against us back in the day. When freezing trap or not freezing trap, but sorry, mages used to use it with Frost Nova, and they sit there and cast a Frost Bolt, whatever, right in your face, and you know, I was trying to duel that guy right there just to add some more content to the video. But warrior versus warrior is very simple. You just want to disarm the warrior as much as you can, and if they're fury, you don't want to attack them because especially if they're on your healer because they're going to out damage you to where it's like ridiculous. And if they're arms, you have to kind of judge if you're going to be able to set up a kill on the arms warrior or if he's on point, he's going to defensive stance, he's disarming you whenever he needs to, whenever you're popping big damage and stuff like that. And here I'm just going over the actual damage of what I was doing to the target dummy. Obviously your bleeds are your number one thing. Mastery affects your bleeds for damage. But the problem with arms is your survivability. So that's where versatility comes in. It helps give you damage reduction, but it also helps increase your damage on everything. So if you can see, like, you have two number one damages basically. The mortal strike obviously, and the deep wound. So you gotta kind of think that that's why you don't stack mastery that much. It's because you want to have more damage on both your abilities instead of just your bleed effects. Slam's pretty much up there too. Those crushing assaults, get out of the mindset of doing steady damage, of how much damage I've done in an arena, stuff like that. That's not cool. If you want that, go roll a Demon Hunter. They do stupid damage. You know what I mean? So your warrior does stupid damage too. You know what I mean? But doing damage when it's important, doing damage whenever it's time to kill, it's time to set up a kill. That's when you want to be able to really utilize your abilities. You want to be able to, you know, control them with your damage, your burst damage. Make them scared to be around you and make them play defensive always. That can work against you too, because if they're kiting you around a lot, it can It can dampen your ability to cause damage and dampen your ability to actually play an effective game. You have to be very careful with frost mages. Uh, Anything that can really just keep you in a rut. Even a good rogue, man. A good rogue can just keep crippling on you, and you know after your double time and stuff like that, he shadow steps his healer. You're bleeding, he's kiting you. You know what I mean? You just got to be careful about the player you're fighting, and make sure that you're in perception. In perception. You're being aware of how much health everybody has, and when to swap, because that's the big arms warrior play is the swap. Boom, we're hitting this target, and that's why TSG is so good because they're known for that healer swap. You know what I mean? If you got an arms warrior and a DK, and boom, they grip the healer, and boom, it's Mortal Strike with Sharpened Blade, and then a Storm Bolt, and then it's Asphyxiate. Then you got a Fear maybe in there or something like that, just to kind of like break them up. You know, that's their play. For a lot of warriors. Just use defensive stance. If you're being targeted, use defensive stance. The damage loss isn't gonna be. It's gonna outweigh. I mean, it's not gonna outweigh the damage reduction. So don't get yourself killed because you feel like you're doing 10% extra damage, because it's not worth it. Use die by the sword preemptively whenever you know big damage is coming. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos, and good luck on your Arms Warrior expeditions.